Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and in today's segment we're going to discuss the importance of communicating with your neighbors. A lot of folks in the community have discussions back and forth as to, okay, well, how much do you tell people? How much of a conversation do you have? And is it a benefit to you to discuss your preparedness plans with your neighbors, or is it a liability? And I would submit to you that having discussions far ahead of time, opening up those lines of communication is a really important thing to do, not just from a if the poop hits the fan type of thing, but just from a civility standpoint. When you make the effort ahead of time to care for people just because you can, and to be nice to people just because you can, that effort pays dividends, especially in the event of a disaster, because you've already laid down positive groundwork. You've already established that, yeah, you are a good person and you're not there to screw the other person over. So making positive relationships and taking steps now to really reach out and to offer your hand in friendship to people in your close proximity, I think it's positively going to serve you. Something else to consider as well is your supplies. And I've recently changed the way that I think about this. When I was younger, I think I was more focused on how do I communicate this? When I was younger, I used to focus on me, just me and my needs, and if stuff comes and I'm the only one that has supplies, well, suck it up, Buttercup, you should have planned better. And as I've gotten older, I've started to ask myself hard questions, and the more that I would ask myself the questions like, okay, well, if there was a disaster, could I really sit and watch people nearby me suffer and just squirrel myself away and come what may, let them deal with it? I don't think I can. From a humanitarian standpoint, these people are your neighbors, and in some way, shape, or form, we are responsible for each other. I'm not saying that we underwrite negative behavior, or that we facilitate laziness. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I am saying is that having conversations ahead of time with people, and the way that I would phrase it is this: hey, I just want to let you know that if you ever need anything, I'm here for you. I've got some food stored up, so if you would like to get together and we can do this as a joint venture, there's lots of different ways that you can have this conversation. But I'll tell you what I just did recently. Was I made much of my supply storage food readily accessible to my neighbors, and I went and had the conversation with them. I said, hey, look guys, if there's ever something that happens, whether it's a natural disaster or some type of a situation where it's not wise or smart to go outside of the house, then there's stuff here for you, and we can help each other. And it was amazing to see the look on people's faces, like, oh wow, that was so thoughtful of you. Well, you do the same for me, right? Well, maybe we can give this, maybe we can put this there. It was amazing just to see how taking that step forward and having the conversation with somebody completely changed their perspective, not only on our relationship as neighbors, but also, oh wow, yeah, it is smart to be able to pull together in case of some type of bad event. I would submit to you also that having this discussion ahead of time is going to make a much more easy transition to cooperative environment in the event of a disaster. Even if it's, even if you don't have your neighbors as some very well organized group, having had that conversation beforehand and letting people know that you are a good person and that you have good intent in the event that you do have to work together in a disaster, for sure, that groundwork, that positive groundwork is there, and it's paying dividends for you guys. So those are my thoughts for this week regarding just talking with your neighbors and being a chill and kind human being. I think it's kind of the travesty of modern times is that we're more connected and yet we're less so. I mean, we'll sit here, and how many people have you watched personally? It's like they'll be sitting in line at the grocery store or the doctor's office or on a bus, and they'll be just sitting there like this and not having a conversation with the person next to them. We're more connected and yet we're more disconnected as people from each other. So I submit to you to reach out to your neighbors, that in the best case that you will have built up positive relationships, and in the worst case that you will have more allies in your quiver in the event of a disaster. So I hope it was helpful for y'all. Switching gears, I want to let you guys know about the upcoming Medical Prep 101 and 201 classes. The next classes that I'm going to be teaching will be in Atlanta. That is in 10 days. I'll be in Atlanta for Medical Prep 101. Medical Prep 101 and 201 will be coming to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Also Indianapolis, Sacramento, Portland, Oregon, New Hampshire. I'm coming to New England. So for all you guys who said the Patriot Nurse had no love for New England, tisn't true. Tisn't true. I'm coming. I'll be there in September, also in White Plains, New York. A whole bunch of places on the website, so check the full list out there, guys. It's under the classes tab at the website, www.thepatriotnurse.com. I hope it was helpful for y'all, and for now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. Camouflage. It doesn't smell.